Welcome back. I hope you all had a lovely spring break. I know I did. And I look forward to sharing a picture or two with you this week. Well, we are in week 12 and on chapter 8, Motivation and Learning. And I want to thank Justin Furman, Andrew Weichman, and Leslie Vera for working on the chapter 8 materials for us. And so let's just go to the framework that they designed. So they have put together a number of things that include embedded links for us in the framework. The framework with motivation theory, or the motivation theory altogether, is really looking at what helps us to achieve our goals, what captures our attention, what is the intrinsic or extrinsic pull or push that gets us to really work toward our goals, or perhaps prevents us from doing them, or prevents us from doing other things. What are those things that allow us to behave or prevent us from behaving in certain ways? So one of my favorites is McCluskey's theory of margin. And he has set this up as really a equation suggesting that the load that we carry can be influenced. And a load can be anything. It can be the pressures of school, it can be the pressures of work or of home, or maybe all of those together. And the load becomes unmanageable if we don't have enough funded power in order to carry the load. And how do we fund the power that we have? We fund it, well, and those are very individual questions, aren't they? But we fund that with perhaps things that are our motivators. So things, for example, sometimes the things that help keep us going are someone offering help, or a kind word, or sometimes offering some extra incentive, maybe if you can work overtime, maybe that's an incentive to do more. Maybe it's taking a vacation. Or maybe it's just that you value your family so much that that is enough of a motivator for you, that you do what you do. Whatever those things are, and like I said, those are very, very individual. And so McCluskey suggests that our load and our power have to allow margin enough for us to be able to stay afloat, to keep up. We have to have some margin in order to stay sane and capable and be able to manage. So that's one of my favorites. As you read this chapter, consider what your favorites in motivational learning are. So we've got a motivational memory game to try. And we've got YouTube video to watch. So then we've got an activity to post. Think of what motivates you, your key extrinsic motivators or intrinsic motivators. Actually, the research suggests that for most of us, the motivators, if we're comparing extrinsic with intrinsic, that will keep us going longer are intrinsic motivators. In other words, extrinsic motivators are a pat on the back or a extra bonus for doing something, or a grade that is higher. That's an extrinsic motivator, that you get something. An intrinsic motivator is something that is typically inside you. I feel good when I work harder. When I do my very best, I just feel good. I'm walking on air. That's an intrinsic motivator. It might also be that I just get really turned on to do extra things for someone, especially if they don't know I did it. That could be an intrinsic motivator. If I can pay something forward for someone, perhaps pay a bill that I know that they are really struggling with, but they don't even know I paid it. That makes me feel wonderful, like a fairy godmother or something. And so that can, for me, be an intrinsic motivator. What are those things for you? And then what theory do you most closely affiliate with? What seems a theory that is most right, or seems like a theory that describes your motivations? Do you or your work align with intrinsic or with extrinsic motivators? What gets you to do more work or best work for you? So reflect on your learning experiences, recall your teachers, and this activity again is what we're going to post in the forum. And once we've posted it, we're going to come back, and that's due of course Thursday. Then we're going to come back and react to our classmates' activities and their responses, and that's due on Sunday. So just to rehearse what our assignments are: Chapter 8, we've got a TED Talk, we've got puzzles of motivation, describe in your forum. Take a few minutes, and I'm noticing that these aren't exactly live, so I might just put in the add in the Word document because it so that you for sure are able to click on these links. All right then, let's get started and get into week 12 and chapter 8. See you in the forum.